In CAD, multi-part assemblies don't automatically reference each other. In this lesson, we're going to create those references using an assembly tool called joints. So let's get into it. In the last lesson, we successfully reversed our circuit board and created a CAD file that's now in Fusion ready for us to use in our assembly. In this one, we're going to create a new main file that we're going to be building the assembly in. Now, you may be asking, why don't we just create the box around the original Arduino? Now, we can. There's no reason why you can't. But what if we wanted to share this Arduino across multiple different assemblies, create different boxes? If you create it all around the original Arduino, then you're going to be sharing that original box around everything else. So if we create another assembly and we put this Arduino in there, what it allows us to do is use this file and other things without having a big mess. This will make a little bit more sense once I put it in here. So we already created a main file here. We have a main chapter here in CAD that I went ahead and created. All we need to do is get our Arduino put into this file. Now, what we do is we go up to the ribbon. We're going to go to Insert and go Insert Component. That's going to open up all of our files. We're going to find that reversal file and go ahead and insert it. Now, like what I said before, is that when this file comes in, if I had built a component, like a box around it, I'm going to get that box too. I don't want just, another box. I want just the Arduino. So this keeps it nice and clean. We're only seeing the thing that we want. Now, we can move this around using the arrow keys. We can shift it around. Over here in this initial position box, we can move it using X, Y, and Z distance based off its original position. It doesn't necessarily matter where you drag and drop it. What we're going to do is create a reference that we can control later that's a little bit more robust. Just go ahead and click OK. And from here, we're going to get a new component in our tree. We're going to end up seeing that we have bodies and sketches that are related to it that we can show or hide. If we right-click on this, we can see this little chain link here. If we right-click on this, it has a link back to the original file. Now that original file allows us to make changes to that Arduino board, and those changes will propagate all the way to this main file. If that's something that you don't want, you can simply click Break Link, and now the two are severed and you're not going to get those updated changes. I'm going to go ahead and leave that link in place, but what I am going to do is unground from parent. Now this is an option when you bring it in that you can click unground from parent, but what it is that wherever you placed it and selected at the very beginning, it kind of locks it in space, and this is to save you from having a floating object that can essentially crash your entire file. But we are going to unground it from our parent for a second. Now that it's ungrounded, you can see it is floating, just like I was talking about. This is something we don't want to leave this way, though. We just want to control how it's referenced in the file. This brings me to the main concept of this lesson, which is the joint feature. That join feature is going to be found in the ribbon again. We're going to go to Assemble, and Joint is at the very top here. Also, there's a quick key for J. Once I open that up, I'm going to get a new dialog box that pops up. It's got two independent tabs on it. The motion tab is what's going to dictate which type of joint that you're actually going to be putting in there. Pre-selected is rigid. Rigid is just like super glue. It's going to just stick the two together. There's not going to be any motion at all between the two objects. You can see that there's more complex ones like sliders, ball joints that allow you to have a certain amount of flexibility with your assemblies, but that they're related to each other in some kind of way. We're going to leave rigid in place. We're going to go to position. Now we're going to need to select two essentially points and plane combinations here. On the very first one, I want the bottom of my Arduino board. My goal here is the bottom center of my Arduino board. I want glued essentially to the origin on that plane. So we're going to come up here. We're going to select this plane here. This is the bottom of my board. And I want to select that center point here. Once I select that, you can see that Arduino grays out. The reason is that you can't select another point on that because it's related to itself. Now that the origin is shown, make sure that your origin now is shown up here. We can go ahead and select that center point, kind of locks it in place, and we can click OK. Now that we have that joint in place, I can click here, I can't move anything around. We can see here down in the history, we can see a joint has now been created, as well as a relationship is now up in our tree. We can see this joint here as well. These are all things that we can always go back and edit later if we want to shift them or move them at all. We have a nice solid component that is built into our assembly. We're now ready to start referencing it and creating that box. So that is it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to do just that. We're going to create some offset planes and start creating that bottom box. So we'll see you in the next one.